Obvious public investment. If you are looking to make some gains with your team, with your coach, with anybody in your life, part of the problem, and certainly the solution, is to obviously publicly invest in whatever it is you do. So again, we talk about volleyball, so we're going to talk about teams and coaches. If your team, if your coach, if the people you are with all the time don't know how much you care, or don't think you care, you have a huge problem. So if you don't start and you want to, or if you don't get enough sets and you want more, or if you want to be more involved in what's going on, or if you want to feel more accepted within your team, this is one of the big parts of your answer. So we start over here. All right, if you've never seen one of these little box charts, I don't know what your teachers are teaching you with, this should be pretty familiar territory to you. The box has 4 quadrants. On the way up, your amount of care goes up. So this 0 here shows that you're at 0 care here, and you care more and more and more the higher you go. And others know about how much you care the further you go to the side. So more care, other people know. If you are in this first quadrant, you are in the you don't care and other people know it. You should change sports. You have no business doing what you're doing. I don't care what it ever is. If nobody knows about you and you don't care at all, pick something you like. So we're going to get off of this one pretty quickly. The next 3 are the ones that matter. So now let's say that you care a lot, but nobody knows it. You care, no one knows. This is a terrible place to be, and there are 2 different versions of what this might be in your reality. You might care a lot, but you're stoic. You don't show things very well, or at least not in ways that other people can see it. So I've seen this athlete a lot. They care tons, but nobody would ever know because they're either quiet or they just don't emote well. They don't show their emotions. So in either case, this athlete feels a little cheated, and really in a lot of ways it's kind of their fault, and that's what we're talking about today. So keep that one in mind. The other version is a kid that doesn't care enough and everybody knows it. Either they don't care much or they don't care enough for who they play with. So you're on a super high rev team, with super motivated coaches that have been there before and they want to get back to championship level or whatever it is. You might think the people around you are a little crazy with their level of commitment, and they think the same thing about you. They think that you need to commit more. So you may think you care and it's not enough for the people around you, or you know you don't care and the people around you still think you don't care enough. Neither one of these is great. You care a lot, nobody knows, you feel cheated. You don't care much or you don't care enough and everybody knows it and they feel cheated. So what we're shooting for is a lot of care and everybody to know it. You care a lot, everybody knows. Now if you don't know somebody like this, if you don't have someone like this on your team or in your program or in your program's past, you're missing out because these are special people. That's why it's written in a different color so you notice that's where we want to be. If you do know somebody like this, they are amazing people. They change teams. They change programs. Coaches talk about them for years after they are gone. This is the kind of person that you want to be. You need to show people that you care. And this is how you do it. First of all your responses always matter. No matter what there is to talk about, to react to in the world, all of your responses matter. So in volleyball, a very big deal around me is whether or not somebody dives after a ball that we don't get. So I don't mind if somebody's hitting the ground skidding, if they miss, trying their best in the direction of the ball immediately as best they could. It really bothers me when somebody kind of goes, oh, bummer, man. It was just too quick, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you what you're going to do. By your response, you clearly don't care very much that ball just went by us. Because I've met kids that care. I've trained kids that care. I've trained kids to care. And they don't act like, they used to. I trained it out of them. Or they chose it on their own, or both. Whatever it is, your response labels who you are. and you ended up in this category. You don't care enough, and everybody knows. Ouch. So your response to anything has got to resemble somebody that is in this category. You care a lot, and you want people to know. Okay. Besides that, everything you say matters. Everything you say matters. You will show who you are, or you will show who you are trying to be in the words that come out of your mouth. Make sure the things that you say would sound like people that care a lot. Though what they would say, you should say. If you don't know what those things are, just refer to the most hardcore person you know and start to speak like they speak. Next, the things that you do. Now, obviously, we've already talked about diving after a ball. But say, when you miss, do you just go, gosh, golly, try harder next time? Because, people have said, take it easy. It's just a sport, man. Relax, calm down. Or do you, do you react in such a way, not that it throws off your game, but so that everybody knows that you care a lot? What do you do? Do you do things that back up the fact that you care so that people can see it? What you do should show that you care to other people. What do you speak up about? Let's say somebody didn't dive for a ball. We're not talking about you didn't dive. Let's say you were in the front row, you turn and look after blocking, and somebody's going, oh, bummer, man, it was so fast, and it was right by them. The kind of ball that you could just fall over for and get. Do you speak up about that, or do you keep quiet? I'm not telling you to be a jerk. I am saying people that are going to win, remember I said these people are legends? Remember I said they change games, they change teams, they change programs. Coaches talk about them for years. They're the people that spoke up. Of course the coach is going to say you should dive after the ball. But we say a lot of things. And you young folks ignore us really well. It means so much more when it comes from peer. And then the coach doesn't have to do simple, dumb little things like teach you to dive, which is pretty basic stuff if you were planning on being good. When it comes from a peer, you go, hey, how about hitting the ground? In some kind of way that pushes their envelope just a little bit, pushes them towards, we really aren't happy with that. And they kind of change their mind and they start to do it because now their friends, their peers aren't happy with them. You guys, come on. I've coached for a long time. You don't necessarily care too much when a coach is unhappy about something. You care way more when you are unhappy about something or when your friends are unhappy about something. In order to get the coach's desires into the mix, they have to really get on your case, which, by the way, you could have coaches way less on your case if you cared more about the things they care about. But that's not what we're talking about today. Anyways, speak up because people that care a lot do. It's part of the proof that you care, is when you go, hey, I'm willing to talk about this with my teammates. Let's go. Okay, besides that, what do you encourage or discourage? What do you encourage or discourage? Again, by not speaking up about that kid not diving, you're encouraging them not to do it again. They just got away with it. They didn't dive because they didn't want to hurt. They didn't dive because they didn't want to give out that much effort. And by nobody bothering them, that is encouragement. Doing nothing is encouragement to go ahead and back off and be less than amazing. And what else do you do? When your friend does well, do you say, yeah, let's go, Fred, Sally, Josephine? Or do you stay silent? And what do you discourage? Again, we talked about how you spoke up and discouraged the fact that they didn't dive. What do you do here? Are you quiet all the time? Nobody knows if you care. Nobody knows what's important to you. That's your fault. You must change if you want everybody to know how much you care. And I believe you care. You just got to prove it to everybody you play with. And lastly, what will you endure? Obviously, a lot of high school programs in the beginning of the season during tryouts have this crazy week of working out and running and push-ups and sit-ups just to get the people that don't care enough out of the way. The people that aren't really committed out of the way. Stop them from trying out. Don't even have to cut them. Just make it hard enough so that they leave on their own. Well, that's a pretty good strategy. It gets rid of all kinds of people that don't care much. Either they don't care at all or they don't care enough. That's a great strategy. Well, come on, man. There's more than just the first week of tryouts. I mean, you got to take care of a lot of stuff during the season. You might be sore and have to play anyways. What will you endure? Will you keep a good attitude even when you're tired? Will you keep a good attitude and share that good attitude even when you don't want to be somewhere? You're playing somebody that's beneath you, but you got to drive an hour just to go play them, and you got to drive an hour back after being there for 3 or 4 hours because you got to go through the freshman team, the JV team, and then finally your varsity game comes. You've been there all day. Will you endure that with a good attitude or not? What will you endure and how will you endure it? It will show people how much you care. It is your job to leave no doubt in anybody's mind around you how much and how dearly and how deeply you care about the success of the team and the people around you and your own success, but you value theirs far more obviously than yours. You put the team ahead of you all the time so that you can resemble one of these people. Now, let me caution you. If you heard nothing else, hear me now as I finish up this video. When you do these things, that's great. You leave no doubt. Make sure people know that you care. Be one of these studs over here. Do not ever address how much you care directly. In other words, don't ever say the words, well, I did this and this and this, and I'm really committed. Don't say, I show my commitment by blank, blank, blank. You cannot find a way to say that other people don't see as you being a jerk, as you being high and mighty, as you being so cool. Like you will do the opposite of what you're looking for. You're looking to get people on your side by doing all these things. You will lose that as soon as you address directly just how cool you are in your commitment. You have to do these things to show and prove your commitment without ever directly addressing how much you care in English words, especially if it's compared to someone else. So, I encourage you to aim for this. If you want a spot on a team, if you want a better spot on a team, if you want more status within your team, obviously, publicly invest all the time with what you respond to, what you say, what you do, what you speak up about, what you encourage, discourage, and what you will endure. When you leave no doubt as to just how much you care through your actions, that is when you will find yourself in a place of significance and, quite frankly, again, great status within your team. And you'll be a valuable member, not just of the stats and how winning works, but the coaches will look at you and say, that's the kind of leader that we need out here. So, I encourage you to give this a shot. Look at yourself, see what you're doing and not doing. How do you resemble this? And go to work, because every team could use someone like this on it. Good luck.